Have you ever wondered why some things are more valuable than others? For instance, a single Super Bowl ticket can cost more than a whole season's worth of regular season's ticket, or a single round of golf at Pebble Beach could cost more than a year's worth of golf at your municipal golf course. A limited edition Lexus, just one, can cost more than 15 Ford Focus. Now, the thing is that these all provide exactly the same service, except one is more valuable than the other. And they all have this one thing in common. If you'll master this one thing and apply its four principles, you can become the most valuable teacher on your campus. So I want to welcome you to Teacher Talk, where we combine biblical wisdom with common sense, because we're restoring joy to the classroom one teacher at a time, because we just don't think teaching ought to be this hard. And if we haven't met, my name is John, and I'm a fellow educator, a burnout survivor, and either most of all or worst of all, I'm a reluctant adult that does not like to do adult stuff, but has to do adult stuff. And today we're going to talk about how to change your value on your campus so that you can become the most valuable teacher on your campus. So stick with us. One of the things that we learn from economics is when something is always available, it is eventually devalued. And that's why things like the Super Bowl tickets or a round at Pebble Beach or a Lexus limited edition car, that's why they are so valuable, and that's why they cost so much, is because they're not readily available. What this means is that their availability defines their value. Or another way of looking at it, maybe you want to turn that statement on top of its head, is that their lack of availability is what makes them valuable. As teachers, we've come to believe that our willingness to always be available, accommodate, and accessible give us value. And those qualities do give us the feeling of value for a period of time. But over time and at the end, constant availability simply does two things. Number one, it decreases your value. Number two, it makes you invisible because your availability defines your value. Too much availability, less value. Essentially, what you've done is you've taken yourself from being a limited edition Lexus and you turned yourself into a Ford Focus. And absolutely no one recognizes a Ford Focus driving down the road or sitting in the parking lot. The question that you might have right here is, how do we go from being a Ford Focus to a limited edition Lexus? How do we become the most valuable teacher on the campus? And there are four principles that we're going to discuss. Let's go talk about it. If you want to become the most valuable teacher on your campus, you have to learn to communicate with your boundaries, because boundaries aren't walls, they're messages. I mean, you think about it. Every time somebody comes to you and you say yes to this or no to that, what are you doing? You are teaching people how you want to be treated. And if all you ever do is say yes, 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 you're letting them know that that's the way that you want to be used. You want to use your time, you want to use your energy, and you want to use your values in exactly that way. Now, sadly, some teachers are just like vending machines. Somebody comes to them, tells them what they want, pushes their button, pop, out it comes. And the problem with that is that nobody ever cares about the vending machine until they need something. As a matter of fact, I can never remember one time ever looking at a vending machine and saying, hey, thank you for those chips, or thank you for that Snickers. Do you know what I mean? However, I have been extraordinarily upset with the vending machine when I went over and put my money in, and then all of a sudden it didn't come out, right? Or it got stuck or it got hung up. I've slammed those things and pushed them around trying to get stuff out of it. Setting boundaries communicates to those people around us that we actually care. They say, hey, I care about my students, I care about my school, and I care about the vision and mission of the leaders. But they also say, I care about myself, I care about my family, I care about my rest, I care about my health, and I care about my calling. And that's why Proverbs chapter 4 and 23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for the issues of life flow from it. And this idea of guarding our heart, that's not a passive activity. Rather, that's a proactive defense that we're expected to put in place, because there's all kinds of things coming against us. There's all kinds of things that would like to infiltrate our life that would cause us to become jaded and cynical. So we have to put things in front of our heart. And those things that we need to put in front of our heart are called boundaries. Boundaries protect our heart, but they also increase our value. The reason why we're so willing to work without boundaries and be treated like a vending machine is because we're seeking the validation of others. We want the people in charge to know that we are team players, that we're hard workers, that we support their vision and mission. And as a result, we become emotionally dependent upon them. And that's why we need to create emotional independence, because emotional independence is magnetic. Emotional independence is the most powerful tool that we have in our toolbox because it signals to those around us that we're willing to stand on our own 2 feet, we're willing to make our own decisions, and we're willing to do things that are good for us and for our students. One of the things that I noticed in myself is, whenever I would spend time speaking to leaders or talking to school board members, I noticed that I would express my ideas or my thoughts or my position, and then I would follow it up with this phrase: does that make sense? Now, when you hear that, what do you think I was looking for? I was looking for the validation and affirmation of other people. I was looking for them to say, hey, John, yes, that makes perfect sense. We're on board. We're going to go with it. But it had the exact opposite effect. What it actually communicated to people is it communicated that I was not confident in my own ideas or my own strategies or my own plans. And as a result, I literally became invisible to them, because who wants to put their confidence in somebody that's not confident in themselves? I think the best way to become emotionally independent is through self-awareness and authenticity. And I thought about those two terms and I wanted to combine them. And so I stuck them in ChatGPT and I said, hey, make me up a new phrase right here. And so it did. And the phrase is aligned awareness. Aligned awareness is living in such a way to where what you believe, feel, and do all tell the same story. Because when we're able to do that, that exudes confidence, it exudes independence, and it is magnetic to the people around us. Now, I want to be clear, because emotional independence doesn't mean that we don't care what others think. Of course, we want our bosses to think well of us and our colleagues to think well of us. Rather, emotional independence means that we are selective about what we allow to influence us. Boundaries and our emotional independence through aligned awareness are powerful tools that will lead us to understand that ultimately and finally, our absence is more powerful than our presence, which means we need to learn how to use the practice of strategic absences. When I say strategic absence, I don't mean ghosting or failing to fulfill our professional duties. What I mean are strategic decisions to avoid certain committees, events, and functions. Ironically, strategic absences are healthy for us because it ensures that we're well rested and that we're prepared, so that whenever we are at a function or whenever we are in a committee, we're fully present and able to participate in productive ways. However, strategic absences also make you more valuable because you have created scarcity, which means there's less of you to go around. And that's a good thing. You might think of it like salt. Everything we eat practically has salt in it, so much so that we take salt for granted. That is, until we put something in our mouth that doesn't have salt on it and we expect it to have salt on it. In that case, we know immediately that something's missing. And so what happens? We get up and we go running and we look for the salt, because we want it to taste good. So the point is that our constant presence leads to underappreciation. And don't misunderstand, I don't think that that's necessarily on purpose. I don't think that's some sort of evil plan that people have. I just think that that's what happens, kind of like salt. We just take it for granted. But when we take strategic absences and start putting them in place, all of a sudden our presence means more. And that is what shifts the dynamic. Boundaries, emotional independence, and strategic absences, all of those create the opportunity for you to become the most valuable teacher on the campus. But the thing that will make you the most valuable teacher on the campus is consistency, because inconsistency will undermine everything that you are trying to accomplish. Consistency is the ability to take small, insignificant actions and over time multiply them into large, significant achievements. Which means that we have to have a plan, we have to have goals, and we have to have the determination to see this thing all the way to its end. If you fail to remain consistent, you will not see transformation and you will not see any change. If you want to become the most valuable teacher on the campus, then you have to be committed to consistently enforcing your boundaries, emotional dependence, and strategic absences. If not, you're just going to be treated like a vending machine. And there's absolutely no one that I know of that appreciates the vending machine. It simply expects the vending machine to do what it's always done. Now, teachers, I have no idea where you're at on this journey, and that's why Teacher Talk has created a community just for you. I have a couple of free items for you down in the description box: our 5 days to restored energy and our brand new Rooted and Renewed 30 faith-based affirmations just for you. And that's something that you're going to want to have on your desk when you're at school. So go down in the description box, grab those. They're free, they're 100% free, and they're always free. The goals that we set for Teacher Talk is we want to reach over 500 teachers in 2025 that choose joy in the classroom over burnout. So whenever you get those free items, you automatically get admitted into the community, which is also free, 100% free, and always free. Also, we want to encourage you to keep up with us over on our podcast. You can get that at Spotify, Apple, iHeart, or Amazon Music. It's Teacher Talk with John. Just search that thing up or click the link down in the description box. We're also live on TikTok on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. We want to invite you to come join, be a part of the community. Grab on to the hope that other teachers, hundreds of other teachers, are already starting to experience through the Teacher Talk work. Before we go, it seems that YouTube wants you to do a couple things. Number one, it wants you to hit this subscribe right here and become a member of the Teacher Talk community at YouTube, and it wants you to watch that video right there. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see you next time here at Teacher Talk.